Hi everybody, welcome back to VoxRes and welcome back to another episode. Hope you're all staying safe and well in this COVID-19 outbreak. I know lockdown's getting a little bit monotonous now, but hey ho, we're all stuck with it. In today's video, we're going to be doing a few more bits and pieces, odd jobs on the Astra 1.6 engine, including swapping out the air conditioning pump, checking the water pump, checking the alternator and fitting the auxiliary belt. Now, while we're down at the front of these engines, this one here, that's the power steering. Let's just move that around a little bit. Sorry, not the power steering, the air conditioning. That outer pulley is supposed to slip on that inner one, and it just feels a bit graunchy to me. So what I'm going to do is whip the auxiliary belt off of this old engine and see how this pump feels, and if it feels any better, we'll swap this pump onto this engine. Just remembered I've just gone and found this to put in here, and that actually undoes the centre pulley. It's this big thing here that we need a socket on, which is the tensioner to release the tension here. So, a bit of a fail, but never mind. Never mind. As big as 20. Not as big as 20. Interesting, I'm trying to hold this engine up and release the tension. This is where you can really do with an assistant when you're doing some of these jobs. Different when the engine was on the car. I've now got to try and do that. Just climb on top of it. Right, that's the old auxiliary belt off there. Oh, yeah, feel that. Well, you can't feel it, but you can see how easy and through that spinning with no noise. And then, if we come back onto this one, so that's going to get swapped out. That power steering. I keep calling it power steering. It's not actually power steering. It's the air conditioning pump. This vehicle doesn't have power steering driven by the engine. It's actually an electric pump. So, how do we get this off? A little bit of a tidy up. Don't want to get too messy this morning. Looks like just 3 fairly small Torx bolts. We'll swap them out.
Music keeps me on a long
one air conditioning pump off. Ugh, spilling fluid out of it. There's a new one that's going to go on. I'm just going to give that a little clean up. Right, let's get this new pump back in. It'll be easy to put this top bolt in first, I think there. Which it is. You guys down on them all. So I'm putting the top bolt in there first because it's easier to get to. That's the original power steering pump swapped over. Oh, it's one worrying about that water pump then making a noise, but I don't think it's actually running on the tensioner pulley. Let's move that and have a look. So I'm worried about the water pump there. I'm making a bit of noise. It is actually running on the tension, so I'm going to lose that off. No, that's fine. Water pump's fine. Alternator. Doesn't sound too bad. Let's compare with the other one. That's a lot better actually. You probably can't hear that, but that one compared to, where are we? Just thinking for the sake of a couple of bolts and a couple of wires, that's probably worth swapping those out, because I like the sound of that one and the feel of that one. Okay, so I've had a little change of heart here. Where are we? On the farmer I'm looking now. So that alternator there, not too bad, but I can hear a little bit of noise in it. Doesn't sound as good as this one here. However, I think it's all right, and obviously I want to test these components out. Doesn't look too bad a job to probably do if we need to do that in car at some point. So yeah, let's give it a go, test it out. If the engine's good and the alternator's not, it's another complaint I can put into the engine supplier, because like I say, I have got my doubts about this engine. Bargain price, 55,000 miles. So far we found broken connector. It's complete engine, so Yes, I've decided to leave this alternator on because this engine was sold as a complete engine with all the components on it. Already had to replace the aircon pump because that seems to be knackered. Paid a little bit extra for this engine because it had all the bits on it. So that's one thing that might not be any good for you. So I just want to leave this on and test it out. To replace it, it's literally those two bolts there. I think the whole thing slides off, so you should be able to do it in car. If we need to swap it over, obviously I'll be keeping this one off the original engine as a spare. So a couple of little more things we need to swap over. One of them, if you remember right, was this vacuum pipe, which is fitted right up here. I don't know if you guys can see that if I'm getting any closer. So it's fitted to this valve just here. And you just literally pinch it in and pull it off, but it's so much easier to get to when it's off the car. He says struggling to get it off than it is when it's on the car. So see if we can get this off. There. So if you can see there, but it's just a little pinch there, and that pops off. So I'm going to fit that on down the other side here. So that little valve is, where are we? Just there. Let's get a little bit closer. So there's a little valve there, that's the little nozzle, and that just clips. Doesn't matter which side of that pipe it goes, should have took a bit of note so it should know, but anyway, that just clips on there like so. Job done. That can go over there. So obviously there's a few other little bits and pieces we need to sort out here. Obviously the ECU is missing. I didn't expect that to come with the vehicle, to be honest, because that's coded to the rest of the ECUs in the car and the security system and the ignition system. So I'm going to have to take the hours off of the original engine, which is obviously coded to our keys and stuff, so that's got to be swapped over. The dipstick little handle thing snapped off on the original engine, but I've taken the one off the new one. I'll leave that until we've transferred the engines over, put the engine in the car, because I don't want to snap the other one off again. So I'm thinking, apart from these rusty old brackets that I want to change over, that's probably about it. So let's swap these brackets over. So the reason I'm swapping these brackets over is just for cosmetic reasons. You can see the difference. This one was off the old engine, and this one was off the new engine, and this one just looks horrible, and that one looks half decent. So just for cosmetic reasons, really, no other practical reasons. We'll obviously keep hold of all these other bits. In fact, I will bolt them back onto the old engine, because obviously we might need to lift that again with the crane, and these are the lifting eyes. Right, it's going to fit the new auxiliary belt. I've just put the old one back roughly to give me an idea of where it goes. So I think it's just round the outside of all the pulleys, and then back up here in the middle will go into the tensioner. So let's whip that off, see if I can remember doing it with the new belt. So it does that, goes up round there, and then this slack bit goes. No, I've done it wrong again. It's like one of these conundrum puzzles, this. I think that's it. That's the way it goes. So that goes on there, and then obviously the tensioner takes up the slack in that, so we need a big socket again. This might be a bit tricky because putting the belt on now, not just ripping one off. So easy. Make sure that's all lined up with the grooves. Let the tension on, back on there, and there we are. As easy as that. 5-minute job. I should imagine it's a little bit trickier when you've got the engine out of the car. I've already done the timing belt in here. New tensioner, new idler pulley down there. Feels pretty tight. It's all timed up alright, we checked that. The auxiliary belt. We're getting there, guys. I'm pretty sure all I can think of now is, I know the ECU, we talked about that just a minute ago. I think it's gearbox time. So, just a little bit of an update. If you remember rightly, I was getting really annoyed that this engine mount wouldn't come out. Now, I haven't taken the bonnet off this morning because I'm not going to be working in here too much, and it's got any hinges on and I've got to lift it and store it without scratching it, so I'm crawling out underneath. So this has got 4 bolt holes, one there, one there, one there and one there. 4 big bolts to hold the engine mount on, as I've said before. Haynes manual says take 4 bolts out and remove the transmission mount. So the Haynes manual is for a Vauxhall Astra H, which is what this is. However, a little bit of eBay research, and as suspected, there is a bolt that holds on this gearbox mount that comes back in the wheel arch here. Now, obviously you can't see it from here, but what you need to do is pop this little clip out here. It's just one of those little trim clips that you push in. So I've got a little tool here, I'm going to push in that pin. I'm going to do it off camera because I need to catch the pin when it comes out the other side, don't want to lose it. You peel this wheel arch liner back, and behind there apparently is a 13mm nut that's holding that on. Now the Haynes manual doesn't mention this, and very little information online, but I spent about 2 hours the other evening searching for this, and sure enough I found out about this bolt. So I'm going to whip that out and have a look and see if we can get that engine mount off. As I say, it's not an essential thing to take out, but I think it just will make it a lot easier getting the engine back in, because it was a pain getting it out past that mount. Just gives you a little bit more room, something less to foul on. So let's get that out. Right, so I've got that little clip out now. It's just a little pushing thing that pushes in that hole, and there's a little pin also there that goes in the middle that I've retrieved. So if we now look up behind this bit of trim, there she is, a 13mm bolt holding that engine mount on, hidden away up there, no reference to it in the Haynes manual. What a pain. Anyway, let's get that bolt out and get that engine mount off. So now taking that bolt out that we just looked at, engine mount, oh look, as if by magic it just falls out. Brilliant. So that gives us a little bit more space. Unfortunately you've still got that bracket there that's welded onto the car, but it still gives us a lot more space up there to get that out. Now I've been looking at the flexi joint on this exhaust, and I think that's pretty knackered. I've just looked up the price for that bit that goes right the way through, I think to, I don't know if you can see it right down the back there, it goes through to the middle back box, and I think I can get one for about 30 quid. Debating whether to change that. I keep saying this, oh just another 30 quid, just another 30 quid, but they all mount up. So yeah, I think it might be worth just changing it, because I think that might have been blowing from there. If not, it looks a bit dodgy anyway. Might get hold of one of them. We'll see. We'll see. It's just not that I can't afford it, but you know, do I want to keep spending loads of money on a cheap vehicle? But then it is a project. It is a hobby. It is giving you guys some content, and some ideas and some prices of how much things cost, how much these things cost, and also how to do these little jobs if you've never done them before. So I think it might be worth getting one and doing it. At least if I come to sell the vehicle next summer, it's something I can list on the list of things that have been done and replaced. So yeah, let's get on with the engine preparation. I'm ready to get it back in the car.